Hello. I just figured I would do a wee video since Remembrance Day is coming up. I figured as a wee tribute I would come out just with my satchel bag, respirator pouch, and my clasp knife, which I'll explain in a wee bit, and make a trench meal, sort of food they would have eaten in the First World War. But we'll give that a wee go and see how we get on. So this is what I'm going to use to make my World War I trench meal. So I'm going to have a cup of tea with it. So I've got my Pathfinder cook set, I've got my evaporated milk, I've got my loose leaf tea, and I've got my enamel contact coffee mug. For my stew, or trench meal, I'm going to cook it in my Crusader mess tin. The Crusader mess tin is quite good. I had an issued mess tin, but I couldn't find it out in time to do the video, but it's a similar sort of thing they would have had in the First World War. I've got my spoon, and I'm going to use to mix and eat, because they would have just had one spoon or a knife, fork and spoon set. I've got my corned beef, which was a very prevalent source of food in the First and Second World War. I've got a potato or a spud and an onion. I believe it would have been dried vegetables they would have used. I do believe that they traded with farmers and purchased fresh vegetables off the locals when they could. So I've got my HP sauce, which soldiers would have bought to pep their food up a bit and add a bit extra flavour. I've got an OXO cube, which was also available in the First World War. And moving on to my fire making equipment and my cutting tool that I'm going to use. I've got some hemp here. I believe they would have used sandbags to cook their food. However, I couldn't get hold of hessium in time, so that's the closest thing. I've got my pipe, my harmonica. Don't know why, I just thought it was a bit reminiscent of the First World War. I can't actually play it, but I'm going to try and learn. And then for my main tool that I'm going to use is my clasp knife. This is a British military issue. I believe it's only issued to the Royal Marines now. I think they're a good wee bit of kit. People in the forces think they're terrible and a sort of a joke sort of bit of equipment because it's issued. One of the first things you get issued, but I think they're pretty good. It's a wee knife that locks in place, and it's got a can opener as well. It doesn't lock, just the blade locks. And there's a flat-headed screwdriver there, and then it comes in this lanyard, this rope lanyard, which is pretty cool. I like it for when you're out having a bottle of beer in the forest. You can hang it off a tree and it's your bottle opener. It's a bit old school looking, but they would have had a similar jackknife, as they would have called it. They would have had them in the First World War. It would have been one of their tools, and obviously with their bayonet. So yeah, that's what I'll go for today. And I've got my matches. That's what they would have used to start their fire and light their cigarettes, etc. And then I've got the closest thing I could get to World War I entrenching tool, just a trowel, just a cheap trowel I bought. The entrenching tool they would have had, it was like a pick and a spade, and it would have went under their belt, and it would be separate. It would have the metal part and the stick part. But anyway, I'll start getting the tea and the stew on the go, see what it was like to eat in the trenches. So it would have been loose leaf tea in the First and Second World War. I'm going to have the tea done before the stew, so the ingredients had to be small, as small as possible, so it could cook nice and fast, because obviously they didn't have much of a turnaround before they had to go in sentry or go back to man in the trenches. The smaller and thinner the better, really. So I believe they would have used this, and they would have had access to a candle as well, possibly, that they would have cooked their food on. It wouldn't be the best, and you just want to hopefully have it heated the whole way through. Hot meal is very important, especially in the winter, to keep the morale up. So dug a wee hole with the entrenching tool there. I'm going to put the mess tin over it. Lighting fires with the matches is a nightmare. I prefer my flint and steel. Yeah, that went up fast. So they would have dug the hole so they could rest the mist in, and also for tactical reasons, less smoke. A slight bit of water.
Johnny is gone for a soldier.
That's the vegetables down a bit. I'll add the corned beef and a bit more water and the oxo. There's quite a bit of fat in the corned beef. We're really aiding the cooking. So that's stewing away. It's probably took about 20 minutes. You'll be done soon. Just add some HP sauce. So if you didn't have much time between your changeover of going back on duty in the trenches, you would have probably had a cold meal, which wouldn't have been the best. So I'm just going to have to try and pour this and not get any of the grounds in, or the leaves. Oh, that's strong. That's a nice cup. So there we go, wee trench meal. Nice cup of fresh tea, quite strong. Bit watery in the old stew slash trench meal, but I'm sure that'll be quite nice. I'll sit and enjoy it.
Here I sit on Butternut Hill. Who would blame me, cry my fill? Every tear would turn a
That's quite nice. You see as I'm getting through it there. The potatoes are a bit hard still, but you wouldn't have that luxury of time in the trenches, and I had that cooked in about less than half an hour, give or take. I think without that brown sauce, your morale would have been mega low. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, stay safe out there and get out there and enjoy the good outdoors.
Here's 40 shillings on the drum for those who volunteer to come, to list and fight the foe today, over the hills and far away, o'er the hills and o'er the main, through Flanders, Portugal and Spain. King George commands, and we obey, over the hills and far away.